Buckle up, everyone, and welcome to Carpool Rugby League, a show where two rugby league tragics talk everything rugby league on your way to and from work. I'm Shano.
And I'm the Chameleon.
Welcome aboard and on with the show. Well, Griff, we're here. We're talking about rugby league. 2 points on offer this weekend.
That's true. That's true. And there hasn't been for some months. But it's all kicking off over in the United States of America.
Yep. And it's going to be this extravaganza.
I was over there.
That's right. Just 12 months ago. So I suppose let's jump straight into it. Griffo, what'd you grab?
Well, I was watching the trial game between the Tigers and the Panthers.
Yep.
And it could only be one thing. It was Amisi Makasini.
Wasn't he great?
Who, gave his impersonation of a bulldozer, and what a player that he promises to be.
He's a key. He's got to be kept by the Tigers.
I think he's signed long term. I'm not quite sure how long, but he seems happy there. They can't lose that guy.
No. I suppose talking around the traps for Tyler Mariner from the Warriors granted a release. Any thoughts on that?
Raymond. I didn't know he was still playing.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Mitch Barnett.
What do I say for Tyler Mariner? Barnett.
I don't know why.
It's all right. All good.
That bolted... I think that was out of the shore, that Mariner.
Actually, you know what it is? I was actually watching something with him on it just recently. I watched a short where he was, and I've got Mitch Barnett. Mitch Barnett granted a release by the Warriors.
Yeah, well, an issue with one of his children, and it's a family thing, and kudos to the Warriors for allowing him to go. He's going to play this year, but he becomes... I guess the most sought after front rower that isn't already signed, that is available. So you think if he wants to go back to be around family, that probably the Knights would be the logical place. But he's been there before. He may not want to go back there, but he certainly will command quite a fee if he can come back successfully from his big injury last year. I think it was an ACL he did.
Yep. Griffin, I suppose question without notice here, is there any team or teams in the, and I know trial form is hard to go by, but is there any team or teams that you thought their trial form was pretty good?
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of the trials. I saw bits and pieces, but I did see a bit of para. They look really good. The Titans, obviously, under Hane, they look like they're a different side. The Tigers also were very good in the trials with wins over the Panthers and the Roosters the previous week. So, for what it's worth, Para took the Witzer. There's not even a trophy, but they did take $100,000. But look, I'd be done with trials. I wouldn't use them. There's a lot of injuries, and over the next. We'll look at those injuries that affect this week's games, and then the other injuries next week. But I'd get rid of him. I wouldn't have him. And it's good to have the footy back on, but it doesn't mean anything. So for the future, if they're looking to try and make the season a bit less, just get rid of the trials and play the proper games. Everyone in the same boat, no trial games.
Yeah. I don't have the perfect answer for that, but I cringe every time I see them. Really. Look, it's the start of the season. It would be remiss of us not to talk about top 8 and Spoon. Griffo, what's your 8? Let's see.
Okay.
Do you throw the 8 and then I'll do the rebuttal?
Yeah, I'm not confident of the order. I am confident about a number of these teams, but not all of them.
Yep.
So I've listed the Roosters, and I haven't really dived into the draw as you would have. I know you're pretty good with that. I've got the Roosters to be minor premiers. The Broncos 2, Panthers 3, Sharks 4. I know they've got another easy draw this year. They're a consistent team, so that's why I've got them up there, because their draw's a bit easier. I got the Storm dropping a little. I've got them at 5 due to injuries and so on, missing key men. Bulldogs pretty consistent over the last couple of years during the season. I've got them at 6, but again, I don't think they threaten to win the comp. The Dolphins on paper look outstanding. I've got them making the finals for the first time at 7, and I've got on paper again a team that should be in the top 8, and that is your South Sydney Rabbitohs at number 8. Although they do have an injury, of course. So Brandon Smith has gone down.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, apparently.
Okay. So he's not going to miss too much.
We don't differ a lot. Usually, this is interesting. I've got your guys, Panthers, top of the table this year. I just think they're gonna I'd never write. I was thinking, who do you put up the top? And I'll put Penrith, because you never.
I didn't have them there because I know they've got a really tough draw.
They've got a tough draw. They're just steely. Yeah. Storm, I've got in second, only because the back end looks good. Bronx third with no confidence. Roosters fourth. Sharks fifth. Dogs.
That's interesting. Got the same 5 teams at the top, but just in different order.
Yep. Dogs 6.
All right, there we are. Top 6. We've got the same teams.
Wars 7.
Warriors. Oh, okay.
And Rabbitohs 8.
And you've got them in there. Okay. So we only differ. Oh wow. We only differ with. I've got Dolphins in.
And you know what? The Dolphins. Look, if I wasn't a South Sydney fan, I probably would have put Dolphins at 8. So, yeah.
So you think the Warriors are still going to be strong?
Strong enough at home. When you look at their draw and you look at everything they've got, it's. I'm not going to say it's kind, but it's.
Okay. Yeah. Again, you've dived
it's manageable.
Really
like it's just like. Also, yeah, looking at Origin, but they're my teams. Premiers, Griff.
Well, I went Panthers.
Yeah,
I don't normally tip them to win the comp. I thought, well, I actually do think they're a fair show this year.
If the Rabbitohs don't get there, I think the Panthers will. I think the Panthers are going to have a cracking season. Spoon.
Dragons.
Really? I've got the same.
We've not colluded, listeners. No, we've not colluded.
Looks like, I tell you what did it for me, Charity Shield. I looked at the team.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see it, but I know South. What I heard was they didn't have their top side in, and the Dragons.
South had a third string team,
okay,
and they were very ordinary. And Clint Gutherson is going to have to play in nearly every position this year.
All right.
For them to even look like doing anything.
That doesn't bode well for those guys.
No, it doesn't. And so yeah, I do think they're going to struggle. Any thoughts on the draw? Anyone from outside that we haven't mentioned that might be able to?
Oh, look, there's a heap of teams that I think shape up well.
Yeah.
And those 3 teams that had the good form in the trials, Parrot really. I thought about putting him in the 8. I just don't know. I mean, they seem to have good depth when the reserve graders come on. They've been very good. So I just don't know enough about them. But
yeah,
whether in a long season, whether they can maintain that. But look, if you're a Para supporter and you're listening, I think you're in for a good year. I didn't have them in my 8, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Mitch Moses stays fit.
And Mitch Moses and Jonah Pezzett, if they can stay fit and keen, they could.
Yeah, I like the look of their young forwards. I don't know most of the players, but they look mobile. They look strong. They're big, and they're going to bring a lot of joy to their fans this year. I really do think that. The Tigers look really good. I watched the whole of the trial with the Panthers. Panthers, when teams had pretty much their best team out there in the first half, they led 12-10 at half time, but the Tigers were probably had the better of the play.
Yeah. Yeah. I came home from the races, the V8s, and I turned it on and I watched about 5 minutes and I thought, I'm going to go back to the start of this match. Even in the 5 minutes I saw, I thought, this is a cracker. And yeah,
it was a really good first half. And as I said, even though Panthers led on the scoreboard, I thought the Tigers had the better of the play. But then when they went to the reserve graders in the second half, and this concerns me for Panthers, that the depth there really looks like an issue. Now, they were missing about half a dozen players who didn't play in that game, including the likes of Liam Martin, Casey McLean, Sorensen, Garner, Liam Henry.
Yep.
There might have been one other. But the guys that they have played, and I watched them against the Cowboys, and they really struggled. I've got concerns. If Edwards gets injured, the reserve grade guy, he worries me. It just didn't get on balls that were on the ground in both games, and he's signed to for a few years. Edgar, he's got raps on him, but he's gonna have to improve. If anything happens to Edwards, I'd go with Milky Jenkins at fullback because I don't think young Edgar's quite ready yet. He may become a really good player, and I hope he does. But on what I've seen in the trials, a bit disappointing. I won't go on too much, but yeah, good. The Titans, they won their 2 games. They nearly took out the title. I really do think this is a club on the up. When you get guys committing to the team, and Tino, everyone thought he was going to walk, but he's committed till 2030. Cooper Byard basically agreed to go to the Storm. He's staying, and he has a huge future.
Yep.
Played for the under-19s Queenslanders. Big raps on him. So Hannay is obviously doing something. Campbell also stayed on there. They seem to be a team united. And there's some holes in their lineup, obviously. But I think, again, better days ahead for those guys. They're the 3 teams that have sort of impressed me. What about yourself?
Oh, I'm with you. I suppose not to blow my own team's trumpet. I was actually impressed with South. I didn't think we would enter into this trial period with any great hope, and they played very well. The team, I thought, look, I'm going to go the other way. A team that I thought just couldn't or didn't look like performing was the Newcastle Knights, and they, all off season they've been telling their fans about how they've changed up their attack to improve their scoring, and really in the off season trial matches there was no real evidence of that. So I'm going the other way. I think a team that really failed.
I didn't see him play, and I didn't see South either, but did they have the big guns playing the Knights? Because they've got some guns there.
Yeah, at times. It looked a bit disjointed, and
okay.
I
think score, against the Bulldogs.
They didn't.
That right?
It's that 5th tackle option that just seems to elude them. But anyway, we're going to go see them on the weekend, and let's talk a bit about that. At 1:15 p.m. on Sunday, In Las Vegas, we have the Newcastle Knights taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Both sides fielding fairly much a stock standard team that you'd expect from them. Just to go through some key positions. Of course, Carlton Ponga in at fullback with Scott Drinkwater. Braden Burns gets another go around with the Cowboys. Dom Young opposite him. When you look at old father time with Braden, you've got Dane Gagai, Jackson Purdue on the other side. Brad Best's playing, of course. Greg Marju with Fletcher Sharp and Dylan Brown. That's not a bad backline. You think there should be points in there, but of course,
they've got amazing names in their backline tonight.
Yeah, and Cowboys have Chester, Tawangi, Clifford, and Dearden. Forward packs basically emulate what they've been able to produce in previous years. Sasai Fedi, Crossland, Trey Mooney, Dylan Lucas.
Mooney's a big off-season signing to replace Leo Thompson. He's a good player, Mooney.
He's a good player, yeah. McEwen and Frizzell Tyson in lock. You can almost set your watch by the Cowboys forward pack. That is Cohen Hess, Reed Marnie, Jason Tomalomo, Helium, Lukey, Sam McIntyre. Yep, Balloons are back, and Ruben Cotter. Sandon Smith on the interchange bench, number 14. Not a bad one to bring on. Sonny Luke is there for the Cowboys. Looking at this extended bench, I think and the reserves, of course, a bit different this year with the 6 named players used 4. Probably a key person for the Cowboys, John Bateman's on that extended bench. And then they've got their reserves where Matt Lodge sits for the Cowboys there. Griffo, round 1 always is difficult to pick. Who and why this game?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys because I find it hard to pick the Knights.
Yeah.
I didn't name them as spoon winners, but I think they're in the conversation.
I agree.
As you said, their trial form has been diabolical in terms of attack, and that was their Achilles heel last year. They've changed the coach. They changed their attacking coach. But I will give them the fact that I know Ponga didn't play yet. That's why I was asking if any of the other guns were playing. Cowboys, you never know what you're going to get. They've got Drinkwater. They've got Dearden, who are 2 outstanding players. Some talent with Taulungi and Jackson Purdue. So both backlines have got the potential for scoring points. The big thing is, the big question, Dylan Brown playing his first game for the Knights. How's that going to work? He's wearing the number 7. Is he going to play like a 7, or is he going to play like Dylan Brown plays his best, as we saw in the Pac Champs, as a running 5'8"? That's his strength.
I think that's why Sandon Smith's on the bench.
Sandon Smith for mine should have been the halfback and Brown.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe that's a bit of ducks and drakes on this one.
I don't know. But Reed Marnie, I saw him play against the Panthers in the first trial, and he looked really good. I think he's going to be a key signing for this team. I don't understand how the Bulldogs treated him. I thought he's a quality player.
100%.
And for me, he's a massively better hooker than the guy they've got there in Haywood. But it is what it is. Yeah. He's at the Cowboys with a point to prove. Good to see the Bloom back. They're missing Nanai, who's going to still be out for a while, which is a key loss for them. But Sonny Luke gets an opportunity from the Panthers. I don't like either of these 2 teams, to be fair. as as teams that are going to be there in September. I can't see either of them. I do think the Knights in this game. Sorry, I do think the Knights will lose.
Lose this game.
I'm not sure about it, but I'm tipping the Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys too.
Yeah.
I have the Knights did not fill me with a lot of hope last year. Their preseason form has yet to wow me. I think they've got to work on. I think they've got to throw. I do think they've got to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and they've just got to. They've got to revamp what they're. They got Dylan Brown. He's on good money. They've got to start revamping what their backline and they've got to revamp what their halves look like, and then start developing some good play around that.
They've got names there, like
they do. They just don't have.
Best.
Dylan
like Brown,
Sandon Smith.
They've got
the nucleus of something there.
Should score lots of tries.
They don't. The other thing, Griff, is at times the forwards don't dig in and do the hard yards either. So, it is a tough. They're a tough team to look at. I think they've got to go back to the drawing board and start looking at kick pressure. Sandon Smith does have a good kicking game. He does have a good long kicking game. I think they've got to start looking at what they can do to start putting pressure on the opposition and pinning them down there. This team is going to kick the ball. The opposition is going to catch it 30 out, and every 6 tackles is going to be an attacking kick for the opposition. That's just my opinion, but I've got the Cowboys on this one.
I'm looking at Matt Lodge. I've got the teams in front of me, and he's got the hair, of course.
Yeah.
I might have to have a chat to him. I need a bit of that myself. I'm surprised he got into the country over there, given he's checking past over in New York, but he's over there and got in.
Yeah, I think.
Good luck to him, but he's not even going to play. But good luck to him.
Yeah, you just don't know.
He's on about his 6th or 7th club. Yep. I think he's a good player. Like, he could be good for the Cowboys. He's not listed to play in this game. He's number 21 or something, but. I think as the season moves on, I think
he is going to be one of those players.
Come into the pack.
He's one of those players that will benefit from this extended bench rule, where if they need a big guy to start punching meters, he'll come on. Especially 10 minutes before halftime. Next game.
So we're both going Cowboys.
Both going Cowboys.
Okay.
3:30.
Ashley Klein, the referee.
Yes. 3:30 next game. At Las Vegas, we've got the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs versus the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Connor Tracy, Clint Gutherson. They are in at fullback. Everything's fairly stock standard for both these sides. Moses Sully slips into centre for the Dragons, opposite Bronson Sherry. You got Crichton and Val Holmes. Kyle Flanagan is the 5'8". Daniel Atkinson, the halfback for the Dragons. Matt Burton in at 5'8". Yep, okay. Lachlan Galvin is in halfback. You got Bailey Haywood in at number 9. I agree with you. Damien Cook. He's the hooker, of course, for the Dragons. Kikau and Leilua. Preston and Jaden Sewer. Salmon, we got a dog up against Hamish Stewart. I want to see Hamish Stewart's defence. Now, a lot of raps on him and his middle defence. I want to see it. Kurt Mann, number 14. Tupanua also on the bench, with Josh Curran on the bench as well. Jake Turpin on the bench as well. So this extended bench, I think the Bulldogs are using it a little bit better maybe than the or Dragons only can play who they've got. I look at this team or these two teams and I just think Clint Gutherson, a great player, but can't play every position. I don't know what their 6 and 7 are going to do. Damien Cook is another year older. No disrespect to I have a lot of love for this guy and a lot of respect, and as far as I'm concerned, he will go down as one of the best guys to wear the number 9 for South Sydney. He's played phenomenally, but just 1 year older, maybe that little bit slower. Jaden Stewart again, up against a side with a lot of exuberance. Not necessarily youth though. Bulldogs have got some aging players on their roster too, but pure class, led by Stephen Crichton. I got the Dogs, Griffin, this one. Who have you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dogs here. I tipped the Dragons for the spoon. And I think that's not uncommon. You've got them as well for spoon.
Yeah.
It's all about the halves, really. They've actually got a really good set of forwards, like both the guys that have taken the field, the bench, and the extended bench as well. There's a lot of talent in their forwards, but there's not much around the halves that I think is going to worry other opposition teams. Atkinson has never been the main man. He's always been a bench guy. He's got talent, but a lot of responsibility. Kyle Flanagan is reasonably solid without being spectacular. Interesting story. Setu 2 makes his debut. I heard his story. Amazing hardship that guy has lived through in his life. The loss of his mother at a young age. Sorts of anxiety about playing contact sport. He's had dreadful injuries. He's making his debut at about 26 years of age, and I wish the guy well.
Good story. Good story.
Yeah, great story.
And get the ball out to him, early ball out to him. He'll go reap a bit of havoc.
I hope so, for his sake. But I've not seen him play. There's just a lack of creativity about the Dragons.
Yep.
They got some good individuals. They're a big side, powerful, and they've won games last year with a similar team against opposition we didn't expect them to beat. But the Bulldogs, one of the teams that we both expect to make the 8, and along the way to do that, they're going to have to beat teams like the Dragons, and I think they will have their measure. Even though if I look at their forward pack, nothing. I mean, I like their second rowers, Kikau and Preston, but I actually think the Dragons forward pack, I like that better. And as I said, they've got a good bench. They've got guys like Sele, Josh Kerr, Couchman, Blake Laurie, all on the bench, and a talent like Halangar who doesn't actually make the side. There's nothing. Satili Tupanua is obviously a good player, but there's no one in that Bulldogs pack who really makes me think, oh yeah, I'm a bit worried about him, other than the 2 second rowers, Kikau and Preston, and they're very good. But the rest of the pack, it's workmanlike at best.
Yeah.
If the Dragons are going to win the game, it's going to be won by their forwards.
Yeah.
But I still think the Bulldogs, with the class of guys like Burton and Crichton, will have enough to beat the Dragons.
Just to add, the next game, or the other game, is the Super League Hull KR versus Leeds Rhinos. If you're a rugby league fan, watch this game. This will be an absolutely cracking match. I'm telling you now, this will go well. And when you consider what Hull KR has done,
world champions.
Yeah, that's it. Well, everyone,
what a
Griffo,
win against to beat the Broncos.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Griffo, thanks for your time, listeners. We've got a short one today. We're working through some issues with our platform and whatnot, but hopefully we'll have them fixed and provide you with a bit more content next week. I've just gotten the message to say hurry up. So
Okay.
we're going to do that.
All right.
Thank you, Griffo, once again.
Thanks, Shano.
And thank you,
under
listeners.
due rest, I might say, listeners, it's good that we've actually been able to put something together because we've got some technical issues that Shano's been working on.
So we're doing.
Enjoy Vegas.
Yes.
Enjoy Vegas. Big day on Sunday.
And next week we're talking a lot more rugby league. Thank you, listeners.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, Griffo. And enjoy the Vegas weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.